Hello, hello. Hey, Facebook Live. It's Trevor Millar here. I'm living from beautiful Squamish, British Columbia. There you go. Look at the view I've got here. This is where we are off. My company called Liberty Root Therapy Limited we're just here for one session actually. We have the good fortune of being able to move around. As long as we've got a safe, quiet, beautiful location, we're able to work with the medicine that we work with. And that medicine is called Ibogaine. I posted a video when we left our last place and told you a little bit about Ibogaine, and I promised that I would share a little bit more in the coming weeks, and that's what I plan on doing in the next week or so. As I mentioned in the last video, and as I'm sure a lot of you guys know, we're in the face of a crazy opioid crisis. People are seriously addicted to opioids. Opioid means an opiate or the synthetic version of an opiate. So fentanyl, for example, is a synthetic version of an opiate. And most of the street drugs that are out there right now, especially the opiates, heroin, for example, is laced with fentanyl. So people are dying like crazy, and this doesn't have to happen. So that's why I kind of feel, I guess because I've got access to such a powerful medicine and such powerful knowledge around what needs to be done, I feel it's necessary for me to speak out a little bit more. Obviously, it makes me a bit emotional. So the last time I posted a video at the end of September, there had been 400 or so opioid overdoses in the province of British Columbia. And now I'm speaking to you near the end of October. The latest statistic is 555 overdoses. So not cool. The latest story I saw today when I Googled fentanyl is horrific. Let me see if I can pull this up here. So I Googled fentanyl, and here's the latest story today. 3 hours ago in Canada, Winnipeg, police arrest parents after baby explodes to fentanyl. So I don't know if you've ever seen Train Spotting, but that brings back a crazy Train Spotting memory to me. So what I'm going to do over the course of the next few days is really try and build awareness around what Ibogaine is and how it can help people. And, you know, in a nutshell, Ibogaine it's derived from the plant medicine called Iboga, which has been used ceremonially for centuries in Africa as a medicine, as something that they would use as an initiation rite. And in the 1960s, a gentleman by the name of Howard Lotsoff, he was a heroin addict, and his chemist buddy knew that he would try anything, and he said, here, try this Ibogaine stuff. So he took Ibogaine, and it's a very powerful psychedelic medicine. It basically put him in a bed, and it tends to, in higher doses, put people in a bed for at least 24 hours. And he came out the other end and he said, wait a second, I haven't wanted heroin the whole time I've been on this, nor do I want it now. So that's when its anti-addictive properties were discovered. And there are lots of Ibogaine clinics around the world. Unfortunately, in the country that needs it the most, which is the United States, I got a phone call there. Ibogaine is illegal. And just in the 1970s, when anything psychedelic was outlawed, it was one of the medicines that got outlawed at the time. So over the course of the next few days, I'm going to, number one, speak about Ibogaine. There's a presentation I'm going to do on Facebook Live, which is a PowerPoint presentation that really goes through the ins and outs of what Ibogaine is and how we work with it here at Liberty Root. I'm going to tomorrow speak and kind of interview on Facebook Live my apprentice Star, who is somebody that has had her life radically transformed because of Ibogaine. And she recently, just this week, took another kind of booster dose of the medicine and got a lot of beautiful insights from that. And it was very therapeutic. So that's the other thing I want to talk about, is kind of raise awareness around the therapeutic use of psychedelics in general. Our world overall is facing a crisis of sorts in that really none of us are at peace. Our media won't allow it, but the antidepressants that people are taking, the antipsychotics that people are taking, the sleep medications that people are taking these day in and day out, and really, at most it's a Band-Aid. They don't really seem to fix anything at all in the long term, whereas I've been working with people and was just at a conference in Victoria where there are a lot of brilliant minds working with psychedelics as therapies. And it's not something that you need to take day in and day out. It's something that you take this medicine in a therapeutic session with a blindfold on, with headphones on, with somebody sitting with you. And people are, depression is just disappearing. What else? People are quitting smoking with psilocybin. People who are going through end-of-life fears, people with terminal diagnoses are taking psilocybin and all of a sudden, seeing life from a certain perspective whereby they live the rest of their life in a state of peace and relaxation. So over the course of the next few days, I'm going to be speaking about psychedelics in general. The war on drugs has been a very effective propaganda machine. Psychedelic actually means soul manifesting or mind manifesting. So to me, manifesting your soul is a very positive thing. I just spoke at this conference in Victoria. Psychedelicpsychotherapy.ca is the website. Again, a lot of really great minds were there. The topic that I spoke about was psychedelic entrepreneurship. And that wasn't really a talk about how to sell psychedelics. That was a talk about how to manifest your soul into a business or enterprise. And over the course of the next few days on Facebook Live, I'm going to give that presentation live on Facebook as well. And I really encourage anybody to watch that. Kind of if you're not satisfied with your life, if you're looking to get a little bit more out of life. My whole point in making this talk was to inspire people. And I think I did a pretty good job of that at this forum last weekend. And I'd like to do that for all my Facebook friends as well, because we're in this world where depression is almost commonplace, and that's not really a new thing. Thoreau even said back 100 years ago that most people lead lives of quiet desperation, and I think that's mostly because people aren't living the life that they want, the life that they could be living. And my talk on psychedelic entrepreneurship, how to manifest your soul into an undertaking, is really dedicated to that, helping people find their passion in life, and not only find their passion, but chase after it in a good way. And then this makes me a bit nervous, but the other thing that I was going to do is I have decided that it's time for me to have another little lie down with the medicine that we work with, which is, again, Iboga or Ibogaine. It is a legal psychedelic in Canada. It is not illegal. There are certain restrictions on importing it, but it is not illegal. We're able to work with that here in Canada. And as I said, we have, it's not a scientific study that I've done, but looking at my files and trying to determine what kind of success rate we have treating hardcore opiate addicts, is we seem to have at least a 65 to 75% success rate treating those addicts. And as Gabor Mate said on a video that I just posted on my Facebook page recently, even if you cut that in half, even if I only had, say, a 30% success rate treating addicts with this medicine, that's That's better than a lot of what's out there. So I've decided that it's time for me to have another little therapeutic lie down with this medicine, and I was thinking I might do a few little Facebook Live videos around that lie down with the medicine myself, to kind of take away maybe a lot of the fear or stigma that people have around the therapeutic use of these medicines. So yeah, this is just an introductory video to some future videos. So the last video that I shared on Facebook Live, it was viewed something like 2,500 times. So that indicates to me that there is a want to make the situations that we're facing in the world better, especially around opioid crisis. And I would like to kind of educate at least my Facebook friends as much as possible. So if this at all speaks to you, maybe you want to share this video to get the word out a little bit more. I'm going to do all I can to answer any questions around this work. So put any questions that you've got into the comments section, and I'll answer each and every one of those questions as we go through this. And tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing my colleague Star and finding out what kind of brilliant insights, because she had some really cool insights with her experience with the medicine just this week. And I would like to kind of show everybody that these medicines historically have been used by the most powerful healers in human history. Those shamans, those medicine men, those people that you go to when you really need some healthy change. And in the war on drugs, again, it's been very effective propaganda in shutting down interest in any of these medicines at all. Thankfully, there's a huge resurgence recently. A lot of great science is being released on the therapeutic benefit of these medicines. And I think when you hear Star's story on what her little lie down with Ibogaine recently has done for her, I think you'll probably be inspired. And I think, I'm just very against needless suffering, and I see that so much of the suffering that is happening on Earth is completely needless. We need regular citizens to step up and play more of a leadership role, because our leaders are failing us miserably. So if this inspires you at all, please share it. Let's try and get some good views on these upcoming, hopefully informative Facebook Live videos that I'm going to do around this work. And if you've got questions, put them down in the comments there. I'll make sure that I answer them when I'm offline here. And I'm going to go offline right now. Thanks for the 10 people that viewed this as it was actually live. If you don't mind sharing it, that would be cool. Let's get the word out. Thank you, everybody.